I used to tell people my hair was low maintenance, when really I just didn't know what was working against me. Nobody sits you down at 50 and explains that the cut you've had for 15 years might be the exact thing making you look tired. Today I'm covering 5 haircuts that genuinely take years off. Not trendy, not high maintenance. Just cuts that work with what happens to your face and hair texture after 50. I researched the best haircuts and styling fixes for women over 50 so you get real answers, not guesswork. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1. The layered lob that reads younger instantly. Here's something most women don't know. A blunt, one-length cut actually ages the face more than long hair itself does. It's not the length that's the problem. It's the flat, heavy line at the bottom that drags everything downward. If you've been holding on to the same length for years because it feels safe, this is probably why your reflection sometimes surprises you. The fix is a layered lob, cut to sit somewhere between the collarbone and the shoulder, with layers built starting around the cheekbone. This does 2 things at once. It removes the heavy blunt line that pulls the eye down, and it opens up soft movement right where your face needs the lift, around the jaw and cheek. The layers should be soft, not choppy. You want them to blend, not stack. Here's what changes when you get this right. The lob creates a natural frame around your face without adding bulk anywhere it isn't wanted. People stop noticing your hair and start noticing your face, your eyes, your smile, your bone structure. That's the whole point. A cut is doing its job when it disappears and you become the focus. I had a woman write to me last year, Diane, 64, who said she'd worn the same shoulder-length blunt cut since her 40s because a stylist once told her it was classic. She sent me a photo after her first lob appointment, and the difference wasn't subtle. Her whole face looked lifted, and she said 3 people asked if she'd done something different with her skin. She hadn't touched her skin. It was the layers doing the work. The starting point for the layers matters more than people think. Too high, near the chin, and you get a mushroom effect that adds width exactly where you don't want it. Too low, near the shoulder, and you lose the lifting effect entirely. Cheekbone level is the sweet spot for most face shapes, and any stylist worth trusting will know to check that against your particular bone structure before the first cut. Before, a one-length blunt cut sitting heavy at the shoulder, pulling the whole face down. After, a softly layered lob starting at the cheekbone, light and lifted around the jaw. That's the swap, and it's one of the easiest to ask for by name at your next appointment. There's a haircut on this list that stylists recommend constantly, and almost nobody actually asks for by name. That's next. Part 2. The shag that nobody asks for by name. Most women picture the shag as something loud in 1970s, so they skip right past it when a stylist brings it up. That's the mistake. A modern shag, done for a mature face, is quiet and controlled. It's not the version from old photographs. The fix is a face-framing shag with soft, feathered layers concentrated around the crown and the front pieces, cut short enough to create movement, but never so short that it looks choppy. What this does is add lift exactly at the root, which is the single area that flattens most as hair thins with age. Volume at the crown reads as youthful because thinning almost always starts there first, and this cut directly counters it. The result most women notice first isn't the volume, it's the texture. Feathered layers catch light differently than flat hair does, and that texture reads as healthy and full even on days when your hair genuinely isn't cooperating. It's a cut that photographs better than it feels, which is exactly what you want for a video call or a family photo. Here's the part that surprises people. This cut needs less styling effort than a blunt cut, not more. Because the layers are already doing the volume work, you're not fighting to create lift with product or a round brush every morning. A little texturizing spray at the root and you're done. The one thing to watch for is length at the sides. If the shag layers go too short near the ears, it can read as severe rather than soft. Ask your stylist to keep the shortest layers concentrated at the crown, and let the sides stay slightly longer, so the whole shape tapers gently instead of stopping abruptly. Before, flat hair at the crown with thinning that shows under any overhead light. After, a feathered shag with real lift right where it's needed and softness everywhere else. It's the cut stylists suggest most and clients request least, simply because nobody's told them what it actually looks like now. There's a length that most women swear they can never pull off, and it turns out that's almost never true. Part 3. the pixie nobody thinks they can wear. There's a specific fear tied to the pixie, that it will look severe, or masculine, or like it's trying too hard to be edgy. Almost every woman I hear from has that fear before she has the actual haircut. What gets left out of the conversation is that there's more than one version of a pixie, and the version most women picture is the wrong one for this stage of life. The fix is a soft, longer pixie with length left through the top and a side-swept fringe rather than a cropped, uniform buzz-length cut. This version keeps enough length to style differently day to day, and the side-swept fringe softens the whole face instead of exposing it fully. It's the difference between a cut that says bold statement and one that says effortless and elegant. What changes for most women is how much attention their eyes suddenly get. Short hair removes the visual weight around the face, and a side-swept fringe draws the eye directly to the eyes and cheekbones rather than covering them. Women who've worn longer hair their whole life are often shocked at how much more expressive their face looks the first week after cutting it. I think about a reader named Carol, 71, who told me she'd wanted short hair for a decade and kept talking herself out of it because she was scared it would read as giving up. She finally cut it, kept the length on top, kept the fringe soft, and said the compliments she got in the first month outnumbered anything she'd heard about her hair in years. The styling commitment is smaller than people expect, too. A longer pixie with a soft fringe can be finger-styled in under 5 minutes most mornings, which matters more the busier your life is. And unlike a shorter buzzed pixie, this version grows out gracefully, so you're never stuck between cuts looking unfinished. Before, a cropped, uniform pixie that reads severe under bright light. After, a longer pixie with a soft side fringe that opens the whole face. It's a genuinely different haircut from the one most women are picturing when they say pixies aren't for them. I nearly left the next one off this list because it's so simple it sounds too basic to matter, until you see what it actually does. Part 4. The blunt bob with a twist and the curtain fringe that softens everything. 2 cuts here, and they work especially well together, though either stands on its own. The first is deceptively simple. A blunt bob sounds like the opposite of everything I just said about blunt lines aging the face. And that's true unless the length and angle are adjusted for a mature face specifically. The fix for the first cut is a chin-to-jaw length blunt bob with a slight angle, longer in the front than the back. That small forward angle changes everything. It draws the eye downward and forward toward the jawline rather than straight across, which creates a subtle lifting illusion along the jaw itself. This is not the same blunt cut I warned against in part 1. The difference is the angle and the shorter length, both doing work a longer one-length cut can't. What this angled bob changes is the line of the jaw itself. Because the front pieces sit slightly longer, they create a visual diagonal that softens any fullness under the chin without a single product or filter involved. It's one of the few haircuts that functions almost like contouring. The second fix in this part is a curtain fringe, parted in the center and swept to fall just past the temples on each side. This is different from a full blunt fringe across the forehead. Curtain pieces frame the face on both sides rather than covering the forehead entirely, and they soften the upper face, forehead lines, the area around the brows, without ever looking like you're hiding anything. Combined, the angled bob and the curtain fringe create a full frame around the face. The bob handles the lower half near the jaw. The fringe handles the upper half near the forehead. Women who add both together often say it's the first time in years a haircut felt like it was actually built for their specific face, rather than picked off a general list. Snapback moment worth naming directly. Both of these cuts require almost no daily styling once they're grown into shape properly. A quick blow dry with a round brush for the bob, and the curtain fringe mostly falls into place on its own with the natural part. Before, a straight across full fringe sitting flat on the forehead with no shape near the jaw. After, a center-parted curtain fringe softening the temples, paired with a forward-angled bob lifting the jawline. Together they solve 2 separate problems most women think are unrelated. One haircut left, and it's the one most stylists say gets requested the least even though it works for nearly every face shape. Part 5. The textured crop that solves thinning nobody talks about. Thinning at the crown and temples is one of the most common changes after 50, and almost nobody addresses it with a haircut. They reach for volumizing products first, which only goes so far. A cut can actually solve part of this problem structurally, and most women have never heard that. The fix is a textured crop, cut close through the sides with more length and heavy texturizing left through the top, using point cutting to remove weight without removing volume. Point cutting is the key detail here. Instead of a straight blunt cut across the ends, the stylist cuts into the hair at an angle, which creates broken, textured ends that sit up and away from the scalp instead of lying flat and exposing thin patches. What this crop changes is the appearance of density itself. Because the sides are kept shorter and closer to the head, the top automatically reads as fuller by comparison. A simple proportion trick that most women have never had explained to them. The scalp visibility that worries so many of us gets minimized without a single extra product. I heard from a viewer, Linda, 68, who'd been buying volumizing mousse and root lifting spray for 3 years straight before trying this cut. She said within one appointment she used less product than she had in the previous year combined, because the cut itself was doing the lifting her products had been failing at. The maintenance schedule matters more with this cut than the others on this list. Because the shape depends on the contrast between the shorter sides and the textured top, it grows out faster visually, and most women find they need a trim every 6 to 8 weeks to keep the proportion working in their favor. Before, thin, flat hair at the crown with visible scalp under bright light, and no real shape holding it together. After, a textured crop with point cut layers on top and closer sides, creating the appearance of real density without extra product. It's the quiet fix for a problem most women think has no haircut solution at all. You now know 5 specific cuts, and more importantly, exactly why each one works structurally instead of just guessing at trends. That's the difference between walking into a salon hoping for the best, and walking in knowing precisely what to ask for by name. Tell me in the comments, which of these 5 haircuts matches what your hair is doing right now? The layered lob, the shag, the pixie, the angled bob with a curtain fringe, or the textured crop? Next week I'm covering the exact words to use with your stylist, so you walk out with the cut you actually asked for, not a compromise. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.